Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, and Target managed to secure one hell of an exclusive out of the Star Wars 6-inch Black Series. This 2-pack features the First Order Riot Control Stormtrooper and the Lion's second Poe Dameron figure, garbed as he appears in the early parts of The Force Awakens. Everybody wants the Riot Trooper, so I guess Oscar Isaac really lucked out. This is literally the same figure as the 6-inch First Order Stormtrooper I reviewed earlier, simply armed with a pair of new accessories, and also including his original 2 accessories. It's just an improved package, and I am happy to see it. This means that you can add one more blaster-equipped trooper to a display if you feel like leaving the Riot gear to one side for a photo shoot or two, but why would you do that? As for that Riot gear, it's a combo set of a Betaplast ballistic Riot shield and a Z6 Riot control baton. The shield can be really scary to get off of the trooper's arm out of the package, and may require some careful twisting and possibly a bit of heat application to soften the straps. Once it's off, I found it easy to put on or off of either arm. As for the baton, it's just a single piece of plastic. The secondary flip-out hinge is sculpted on, but non-functional, and what a bummer that is. Also, due to how the figure's packaged, his right hand was totally stretched out and unable to solidly grip the baton handle. Hot water, cold water treatment can help with that, but in general, his left hand is way better at holding the baton, screen accuracy be damned. The right hand's trigger finger just makes things weird. Full disclosure, I generally don't like collecting figures of characters in X-Wing pilot gear. Don't ask me why, it's my own problem. So while I don't have the standalone Poe Dameron of Wave 2, all of my research tells me that this head sculpt is leagues better, particularly in its paint applications. Also, this entire figure is an original tooling, not reusing a thing from Wave 1's Finn figure. And you know, it ain't a half-bad piece of toy. The sculpt is solid, and the use of a PVC overlay piece to create the silhouette of Poe's jacket comes off really well, and the portrait is an absolutely respectable Oscar Isaac on a roughly $20 big box retail toy. The paintwork on the rest of his body is pretty good, picking out a few details without a ton of slop, but the sandy weathering on his kneecaps looks a little out of place to me, since there isn't any other sandy weathering on the figure. There is a bit of weathering stainage on Poe's included blaster rifle, whose model and make I couldn't super easily find on Wikipedia, so sue me! It fits in his hands well enough, though I wish it wasn't so monotone. Poe also includes a flight helmet which looks excellent, all covered in multicolored lines and tampos with a translucent visor piece, but it squeezes onto his head tightly enough to make me worry about paint rubbing off of his luxurious mop of Oscar Isaac hair. It does sit on there nicely enough once it's in place, but I prefer having Poe carry the headgear in his free hand. The Riot Trooper is just the First Order Stormtrooper, this guy we've seen before. Yo, what? Start something. His posability is identical, nothing's been changed, the elbows still kinda suck. The main thing I want to show you here is when the shield is attached, in the package it's like jammed all the way up in like over the elbow joint, and it hinders it even further. If you slip it down, you know, this far on either forearm, you get the full, somewhat depressing elbow range. But it does help, because otherwise I found the elbow range with that thing jammed over the joint was like here, and his arm was borderline just straight. So no, you can still get the elbow bend and have the shield look a touch natural, you know, with his spinny baton thing. Anyway, let's get him out of the way. Let's talk about Mr. Poe Dameron here. He's got a ball socket neck on a forward hinge. The forward hinge, you know, lets him do that. Ball socket neck lets him tilt around about here. Not much tilt, but he can look around, and that hinge allows him to, like, he can ball socket look up a bit, but he can look way down, and I kind of dig that. He's got universal shoulders underneath this PVC jacket thingy, which allow for the full tree pose. Well, I thought they did. I guess this side doesn't. Or am I just not? Oh, there we go. Full tree pose. We can do it. He's got single-jointed elbows with a built-in bicep swivel, and they bend like 89 degrees. So far, as I've been saying in a lot of these reviews, I've yet to find anyone in my own purchase interest who is quite as limited as the First Order Stormtrooper in the Black Series. Poe here is even able to, if you really bend his hand around it, like he can somewhat properly hold this big blaster if his finger plays nice. It doesn't always play nice. I've kind of broken his finger at the knuckle, but it'll bend back. Anyway, he looks okay when he's shooting this thing. So, a whole lot of people are better at doing the Stormtrooper thing than the Stormtrooper. This guy has ball socket joint for his midsection. Number one, like, yeah, I think that cut waist joints are just a done thing for Black Series, but, and I can't remember if they even were a thing. I've been spectating so long. This joint, thanks to the PVC jacket, like the PVC vest that completes the jacket look, it works fine. Like, he can twist around here, and I've been able to, it was real sticky, but I'm able to get him to even use the ball socket thing for the, it's hard to see from the side, so we'll just show the plastic overlapping the other plastic, like there. He's tilting forward, he's tilting backwards, even a little bit side to side, like that. It's a really nice joint on this guy. The sculpt, I think, plays real well with it. Some might have issue with how it is cutting right through his shirt. I don't really mind. His wrists also can swivel, and they're on a little in and out hinge like thus. So he can be all like, hey you got a real nice looking jacket, buddy. Oh yeah, I love my jacket. His hips are ball socket connected, and have pretty much a wide range of motion here. It's weird. Yeah, they are ball socket connected, but you can see in this one, the ball is like, it's got, I want to call it hexagonal, but I can't count the sides, but it's got like edges and stuff to it, yet it still feels like it's a ball socket and not a hinge of any kind. There is a clean thigh cut that obliterates his pants sculpt, but who cares? He's got double jointed knees, all like that. He's got boots, but guess what he don't got? A boot cut. He just has a straight up hinge with a tiltable connection. The boot cut's not a big deal when there are thigh swivels, but for some subtle posing, I like to have both, just for the sake of full emotive optionry. Anyway, this Poe is a pretty poseable toy who feels good to pose. This is terrible. Anyway, he's pretty good. I for some reason was thinking that maybe the jacket would really hinder his midsection. It totally doesn't. All of his other joints work just as well as everyone else in the Black Series. You know, everyone in the Black Series is basically a little bit more poseable than this guy in several ways. But, no, they make a good pairing, especially when this guy has his shield and stuff. This is the wrong guy. When this guy has his shield and stuff. Even though they never really met each other like this. Oh, well. Traitor! Speaking as somebody who was rather uninterested in having a non-First Order figure joining the ranks of his Force Awakens 6-inch Black Series collection, I ended up digging this 2-pack. The Riot Trooper is both the main attraction and biggest snooze. Absolutely looking the part, but adding barely any fresh experience if you've already gotten a First Order Stormtrooper. If you both haven't and only want one, this is by far the one to get since he comes with both guns as well as the Riot gear. But my pleasant surprise was named Poe Dameron. He's a solid action figure that represents a cast member I certainly enjoyed seeing on screen. His improved head totally seems like the kind of thing a modder might want to swap onto the standalone version of the character if you really need him in his X-Wing pilot gear. And he almost has me wanting to grab a Finn and a Rey to go along with him. I just don't know if I want to settle for the Wave 1 versions if there's a chance of improved sculpts down the road. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and do you want to know the real victory of this set? For some reason, it didn't ring up at Target when I took it to checkout. They took it in back for like 5 or 6 minutes and then told the cashier, just ring it up at $12.99. I got this 2-pack for about $13. The karmatic backlash for that good fortune is probably going to literally injure my body. But it was all worth it for you, Poe.